Let's start with our first news. On the newest episode of Alf Reality, Jon Jones and Daniel Cormier actually agree on something for once, and it caught everyone off guard. Both fighters were visibly surprised as they reacted to how much modern fighters call each other names inside and outside the cage. They pointed out that the level of disrespect has become crazy, especially during promotions and interviews. In the conversation, both commentators emphasized that they have rarely seen this level of verbal warfare between professional fighters, where every small exchange turns into personal attacks. Jon Jones noted that even simple face-offs often turn heated within seconds, while Daniel Cormier agreed that the sport has shifted toward a much more aggressive media culture. Both seemed shocked by how normal insults have become in today's MMA landscape, saying it feels almost like a constant verbal battle before any fight even begins. They also highlighted that fans play a major role in fueling this trend, as online reactions and social media posts often reward fighters for being loud and controversial. The discussion shifted toward how respect inside the sport has changed over time, with older eras being compared to today's more media-driven environment. Jon Jones and Daniel Cormier both agreed that while promotion is important, there is a fine line between building hype and crossing into disrespect. The segment ended with both fighters reflecting on how far things have come, and how surprising it was to see them finally agree on something so unusual in the world of combat sports, especially given their history of disagreements and rivalry. The moment quickly went viral among fans, who were surprised to see unity between two of the sport's most iconic figures discussing respect and behavior in MMA today with honest perspective and clear tone. Move on to another news. Kamaru Usman says Khabib wouldn't be who he is without Conor. Kamaru Usman suggests that Khabib Nurmagomedov wouldn't be who he is right now without Conor. Colby had a different style, and like I said, I'm grateful. Because yes, you need a good dance partner in order to really elevate to the certain place. We all know Khabib is not Khabib without Conor. Damn, we know that, really? Yeah, Khabib is not Khabib, and he is now without Conor. Khabib, listen, yes, Sheheis, that because of obviously his talents and how good he was, but you needed that foe, you needed that bad guy to vanquish to get you there. And so is Kamaru Usman not Kamaru Usman because of Colby. Is that what you're saying? I mean, wouldn't even say it like that, but okay, listen, yes. You see, we'll say this, you're right. I think he's part of Charles Oliver, who tried to guess different UFC fighters based on childhood photos of them from when they were younger during the discussion. Kamaru emphasized that timing and narrative play a major role in how fighters are remembered in MMA history. He pointed out that rival rise often create the biggest spotlight moments in the sport, and without that pressure, certain legends might not reach the same level of recognition. He also mentioned that competition brings out the best performances, especially when emotions are high and stakes are even higher. Fans reacted strongly to his comments, debating whether legacy is defined more by skill or by rivalry and promotion. The conversation also highlighted how fighters often act null, edge each other's impact even in heated debates. Kamaru ultimately reinforced that greatness in MMA, shaped by both individual talent and the opponents who pushed them to their limits, making every era of the sport unique and unforgettable. As conversations like this continue to surface among fighters, analysts, and fans alike, the influence of major rival rise remains one of the most discussed topics in combat sports culture today, reflecting how deeply intertwined competition narrative and legacy have become in shaping the modern landscape. Wherever major fighter is defined not only by victories, but also by the rivalries that elevate their careers on the global stage, continuing into future eras. Move on to another news. Sean Brady wants rematch with Belal Muhammad. Sean Brady is hoping Belal Muhammad beats Gabriel Bonfim so he can run it back in a rematch afterwards. Brady previously fought him back in 2022 and suffered a TKO loss in the second round, a result he clearly has not forgotten. Speaking on the situation, Brady explained that if Belal gets the win, it would open the perfect opportunity for them to revisit their matchup under very different circumstances. He said, "I'm hoping Belal wins that and then maybe me and him. I think now that fight kind of makes perfect sense for me to get that rematch. That's the one I want the most. You want to run that back? 100%. And I like Belal. He's a great fighter, but that's just one as a competitor. I just want to get that one back." Brady made it clear that there is respect between both men, but competition is the main driving force behind his desire. He emphasized that losses stay with a fighter, especially when they believe they have evolved since the last time they stepped into the cage. In his eyes, a rematch would not just be about revenge, but about proving growth, adjustment, and improvement at the highest level of MMA. The discussion also highlights how Belal Muhammad continues to stay in title-level conversations, with every fight carrying major implications for the welterweight division. Brady's interest in the matchup adds even more attention to Bilal's potential path forward, especially if he secures another strong performance against rising opposition like Gabriel Bonfim. Fans have also reacted strongly to Brady's comments, with many debating whether a rematch is truly justified or if both fighters should focus on new challenges instead. Regardless, Brady's message was clear. He wants closure, and he believes the timing now could finally make that second fight meaningful in a completely different competitive landscape. The welterweight division continues to evolve rapidly, and situations like this show how past results still shape present motivations as fighters look to rewrite history inside the cage. This situation adds another layer to the welterweight storyline, as fighters continue calling for rematches and legacy fights that shape the division's future direction, while fans remain invested in how these rivalries evolve over time inside the octagon, defining modern MMA competition at the highest level worldwide. Competitive stage today. Move on to another news. Dustin Poirier admits that Conor McGregor's trash talk got into his head. Dustin Poirier admits that Conor McGregor's trash talk got into his head before their first fight back in 2014, a bout that Conor won via TKO in the first round. Poirier reflected on how the psychological pressure played a major role in that buildup and how the mental side of the rivalry affected him more than he expected. He explained that Conor was not just intense in front of the cameras during press conferences, but also sharp and calculated behind the scenes. According to Poirier, even brief hallway encounters felt like targeted mind games designed to get inside his head. Was Conor the worst guy you had to deal with? 100%. In front of the cameras at press conferences, that's one thing. But behind the cameras, Conor was good too, because we would pass each other in the hall, and he would say something like, "Why'd you leave your coach from Louisiana? Why'd you go to Florida? Oh, really? You gave up on your people." Like stuff like that, where after the interaction, I'm walking away like, damn, why did I leave Louisiana? Because I need to get better. That's like, I'm questioning myself. Like, it's working. He did a lot of research on people. He researched people, man. He's making me walk away from the interaction thinking about what he said. So it's getting under my skin. It's working. There's an art to the trash talk and the mental warfare, and Conor is good at it. Poirier admitted that Conor's ability to study his opponents and use personal details against them made the psychological warfare even more effective. He described it as a level of mind game that stayed with him long after the conversations ended, influencing how he felt heading into fight night. But by fight time, were you thinking of any of that? Was the pressure still there? Yeah, in the first fight it was. It messed with me. Yeah, I wanted to kill the guy. Poirier's reflection highlights just how powerful mental warfare can be in MMA, especially when combined with elite-level skill inside the cage. He acknowledged that Conor's trash talk was not random, but intentional, calculated, and deeply personal, making it one of the most effective psychological strategies he has ever experienced in his career. Move on to another news. Du Plessis promises to break Khamzat in a rematch. After Khamzat's loss to Sean Strickland, former middleweight champion Du Plessis did not hold back at all. DDP went off on Khamzat in multiple interviews, saying he now believes he could mentally and physically break him in a rematch, especially after hearing the excuses that came out following the fight. The biggest thing Du Plessis targeted was Khamzat bringing up the weight cut after the loss. He emphasized that he himself has gone through insanely difficult cuts throughout his career and never used them as a public explanation after a bad performance or defeat. DDP also reacted strongly to the scoring, saying he was genuinely shocked it ended up being a split decision. In his eyes, the fight was a very clear win for Strickland, and he seemed surprised at how much controversy surrounded the result afterward, with fans still debating it long after the event ended. At the same time, rumors are now starting to swirl around Du Plessis' own future. A few MMA sources have recently suggested that the UFC could be looking at a middleweight matchup between DDP and Kamaru Usman, though nothing official has been confirmed yet, keeping fans guessing about what comes next for the former champion. Yeah, I think this whole weight cut excuse is ridiculous, to be honest with you. I mean, they said, I think, Tryan said he cut 12 pounds in the 24 hours. Those are rookie numbers. I mean, 12 pounds in 24 hours. That's not that bad. I think it was 46 in total. But I mean, over the camp, what doesn't it matter? What matters is that last 24 hours, and 12 pounds is not that much. I mean, I definitely cut more than that. And yeah, sometimes I've had bad weight cuts too. I have. Everybody that cuts weight has had that experience where the next day you feel bad and you have a bad cut. Sometimes things just 1 kilogram can make the world of difference in a weight cut. And I just think using a weight cut as an excuse when it comes to the fight, even if you did have a bad weight cut, it's fine. It's happened to all of us. But you don't go out and say, I lost the fight because of that. No, if you want to change weight divisions, change weight divisions. But blaming a bad weight cut is like saying I lost the fight because I wasn't fit. It's on you. Be more disciplined then, and the weight cut would be easier. Plessis made it clear that discipline and preparation are non-negotiable at the highest level of MMA, and that excuses after defeat only weaken a fighter's mindset and credibility in the long run inside the sport. Move on to another news. Major UFC LHW fight announced. A major UFC light heavyweight matchup has officially been announced today, setting up a high-stakes clash in the division. Magomed Ankalaev will face Khalil Rountree in the main event of UFC Abu Dhabi on July 25th. A fight that immediately grabbed attention across the MMA world. Both fighters will be entering this bout looking to bounce back after recent losses. Ankalaev is coming off a first-round TKO defeat to Alex Pereira, a loss that cost him the light heavyweight title and left many questioning how he will respond under pressure in his next outing. Meanwhile, Khalil Rountree most recently suffered a third-round co-loss to Jiri Prochaska, a setback that halted his momentum after a strong run in the division. Despite that, Rountree remains a dangerous striker and continues to be a serious threat to anyone standing across from him. Ankalaev currently holds the #1 ranking in the light heavyweight division, while Rountree sits at #5, making this a crucial matchup with major title implications. Both fighters know that a win here could instantly put them back into contention at the top of the division. Sources suggest that the winner of this fight will most likely move on to face Carlos Ulberg for a potential shot at the belt, adding even more pressure and importance to this already massive main event. With rankings, momentum, and future title opportunities all on the line, this matchup could reshape the entire light heavyweight landscape. Fans are already split on predictions, with some backing Ankalaev's technical approach and others believing Rountree's power could be the deciding factor. As fight night approaches, anticipation continues to build for what could be one of the most important fights of the year in the division, with serious consequences for both men's careers and championship hopes moving forward in the UFC. Move on to another news. King Green says Islam Makhachev and Khamzat Chimaev's last fights were horrible. King Green says he did not enjoy watching the recent title fights involving Khamzat and Islam Makhachev, and he did not hold back in his criticism of their performances inside the cage. He explained that there is a growing divide between different fighting styles in MMA, especially when it comes to wrestlers and grapplers from the Russian system. According to him, a lot of these fighters approach the sport purely as competition rather than entertainment. Like, for instance, I get into a lot with the wrestlers, like the Russian guys, and I'm trying to explain to them, they're competitors. You know, they're not making art. They're not trying to make something timeless, that this is a great fight that I want to actually go back and watch later on. I can still watch their fights right now. You know what I mean? And they're sick as. King Green went further, saying he felt Khamzat and Islam's recent title fights were among the most disappointing he has ever watched, calling them horrible from an entertainment perspective. His comments sparked debate among fans, with some agreeing that entertainment value matters, while others defended the strategic nature of championship fights at the highest level. He said, I felt like Khamzat and Islam's last fights, those were one of the most horrible title fights I've ever seen. The discussion reflects a wider ongoing debate in MMA about what defines a great fight, whether it is pure effectiveness and winning at all costs, or delivering action-packed performances that fans will remember for years. Fighters, analysts, and fans continue to clash over this idea, especially when it comes to dominant grapplers who control fights without taking unnecessary risks. Meanwhile, unrelated developments in the MMA world continue to build momentum, as Kyle Dricus is set to fight Bo Nickel on the White House card. In an interview with Home of Fight, Dricus revealed more details about his mindset heading into future matchups, adding another layer of anticipation to upcoming UFC events, and highlighting how quickly new storylines are forming across different divisions in the sport.